good to be with you. As we focus our cameras, we focus in on you. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good morning to everybody in the room, everyone at home. Good morning, where you are, whether you be on a cruise, we're cruising with you. If you be walking down the road and you got your phone in your hand, we are with you. Yes, we are. We love you so much. I'm Penelope Williams, Director of Music and Arts, creative. Let's be creative today. My pronouns are she and her, and you are welcome here. Good morning. I want to say thank you. Thank you, yes. I want to say thank you. Music of Karen Drucker. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, healing, healing day. This healing, let it be a healing day for you. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day, amen. This healing, healing, healing day. Just let the music wash over you. You could sing along if you want to. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. And in Atlanta, it is a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, 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 my wonderful friends. My wonderful, that's you, my wonderful friends. My wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, healing, healing day. This healing, healing, healing day. May it be a healing, healing, healing day. Healing, healing, healing day. May it be a healing, healing day. Mental healing, physical healing, spiritual. Lining it up. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. Amen. It's good to be with each of you this morning. Good morning. This is the music of Daniel Nahmad. And I've always said about Daniel, he's like the Emerson of New Thought music. He just writes the right thing, right? All that I am, I give to you. It's a place of surrender, amen? My body, my soul are part of a perfect whole. My heart and my hands are serving having a sacred plan. I know that it's true. I know all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. Just let that wash over you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. My thoughts and my mind belong to eternal time. My words and my song, you're writing them all along. I know that it's true, and all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. So completely I surrender to the will of the highest power. So completely I remember all the love of my soul's creator. So all month long we have been singing and sharing music, and here's another one. We're going to close our month with this one. I feel my heart when I pray. I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Yeah. Feels good to be together, doesn't it? Good morning once again. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Good morning. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Amen. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Good morning. When I pray, I feel my love, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Come on, adults, study. Right here, yeah, I see you. Right now, right where I am, I pray. Right on, one more time. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right where I am, I pray. Right where I am, I pray with you. So it is. Good morning.
Nature is the divine in all its manifestation. Every single part has a purpose. Trees are beautiful and they clean the air. The researchers have found they do so much more. They make music. They have feelings. They hurt when other trees are cut down. They have invisible particles called phytoncides. They drop on other trees to protect them and heal them. If you are part of their community, they also drop these invisible healing particles on you. They connect with each other through their roots and mycelium. The Japanese wanted to know why you feel better in nature. They researched extensively and developed forest bathing, or Shinrin-yoku. Now, over 5 million people in Japan alone spend 2 to 4 hours in the forests. The mushroom research is spreading all over the world. What they have found out about mycelium, fungi, and mushrooms can help every challenge we face in the earth. The more time you spend in nature, the better you will feel and the healthier you will be. The more we take care of nature, the more the earth will heal. There are mind-altering mushrooms, but those same mushrooms used in controlled smaller quantities can treat depression, dementia, and cancer. Everything we need in life for every challenge can be found in nature. Go take a walk or a hike. Learn forest bathing. Pay attention to the mushrooms and the fungi. Step carefully. Go around spider webs. Go outside. Sit in a chair. Listen, smell, see, taste the air, and feel nature against your skin for a couple of hours. If it is safe to put your feet directly on the earth, earthing is another way to connect. Unless a dead tree is leaning toward your house, putting you in danger, leave it alone. It provides homes for all sorts of living creatures, and the decaying process is important. Get a better idea about the parts of nature that make you uncomfortable. Those things have a purpose. Be mindful of the waste products you generate, including what you put into your body that eventually returns to the earth. When we do a treatment, in some way, we say, God is everywhere present in everything. The divine intelligence is at work all the time. Spend time in nature and become healthier. Protect nature and it becomes healthier so that it can do what it was created to do. Be a part of the divine plan.
Amen. Thank you, Kathy Willis Daniels. Will you please stand if it feels comfortable to do so in our room? And at home, we welcome you to join us as we sing our opening song, You Are Welcome Here by John Stringer. There is a space in my heart where I can find the truth. I find me in you. A truth beyond you may see now. There we go. When we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Good morning. Yes. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow an unfold. let go. Trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we can ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself, or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Come on now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Look around the room. Yeah, welcome each other. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see some familiar faces. Haven't seen in a while. Welcome home.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. My name is Tony Jenkins. My pronouns are he and him, and I proudly serve as a practitioner at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We are a center that educates and engages the seeker on their spiritual path. As a member of the global movement, Centers for Spiritual Living, our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. Whether it is your first time you are watching from home or you are a member, SLCA is where you belong. We are grateful for your presence this morning. For more information about today's service and ways to connect during the week, please take a moment to scan the QR code found either in the back of the seat in front of you or the one displayed on the monitor. And now we're going to recognize our youth as they come forward. Hold on, they're coming. I guess they're preparing to watch the game the Braves play today, so they're getting it together.
Did you hear that, Rev?
I heard.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud, was I? I'm sorry. I apologize.
There they are. Come forward, children.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. This is our time that we recognize our SLCA youth, both attending in person today and watching online. As Nelson Mandela said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Please join me in affirming the youth affirmation that appears on your screen. We see and hear you. We bless and love you. We thank Spirit for you. You belong.
Yes.
And so it is.
Yes, yes, yes. I think they want to stay.
Had to let the children train go by. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a great day to be together. Glad that you are here. We are concluding our series on nature today, and we will be exploring that in just a moment. I want to point out a couple of things you're going to hear in the announcements later on. I don't want to do all the announcements right now, but I'm excited about a couple of things. I don't know if you can feel the energy in here, and I want to say hello and welcome to everybody watching online and YouTube land as well. But there's something happening, right? There's an energy and a vibration in here. It's building every week. People are coming back that we haven't seen for a long time, and people who have been watching online or maybe even took a break and and then said, I really miss that community. I miss being part of that. And so there's something, and the new people are coming. There's just an aliveness. And so we just want to celebrate that. I've got a couple of classes and workshops coming up you'll hear about in the announcements. I don't want you to miss them. The New Thought is Evolving. You should too. That is going to be just a one-day Sunday afternoon workshop. And I really want everyone, when I say everyone, I mean everyone, to take it, because I'm going to give you a framework for how to think about what we're currently teaching, where we're going, and how it all holds together in terms of what we want to produce in terms of not only justice work in the world, but also our personal work and how those two things hold together. So all of these things, the workshop and the class, the You Belong class, we did the You Belong class a couple of years ago, and redoing the curriculum for it and the engagement pieces. You don't need to be in person to do that. You can do it on Zoom. And if you sign up and you can't even make the Zoom, we'll send you the recording. So when I say everyone, I want everyone in the workshop and everyone in the class. No excuse. Oh, I'm busy, I'm out of town, I'm whatever. Sign up. We'll find a way to get the content to you, okay? The last thing is that this Tuesday, we are hosting the interfaith service for Atlanta Black Pride right here in this room. So we're very excited about that. You'll hear more about that in the announcements as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And today we're wrapping up this series on nature, all about our divinity, that we are naturally divine. And the affirmation today is, I am of the divine being. My nature is divine, and evolution is my design. That's similar to one we did earlier in the month, but I wanted to bring it back because it really ties everything together. Let's say it together. Take a deep breath. I am of the divine being. My nature is divine, and evolution is my design. And so it is. Let's have a great day together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
It is at this time we are going to do spiritual mind treatment. It is also known as affirmative prayer. And this is our time where we claim the truth that we know and honor it. So if you would just relax, take all the things off your lap, close your eyes if it feels comfortable, and just take a deep breath and connect. And this is what I know. I know there is only one presence, one power, one intelligence, one source, one presence throughout the universe. This presence is love. This presence is grounding. This presence is always seeking to provide and be with you, for you, as you. As I connect with this source, this power, what I recognize is that I am never outside of it. I am never away from it. And all I need do is just take a breath, and I'm right with it again. One way to really connect with that spirit, that source, is through nature. One can only know that there is only one power when you watch nature. As you watch the trees and the animals coexist, as you watch the perfection of everything that needs to be done with ease and with grace. How can you not know there is an intelligence at work? What I know is that this presence, no matter what you call it, no matter when you need it, is always present for you. And all you need to do is just take a moment and acknowledge and be aware. I'm so grateful for having this opportunity to connect with this source. I'm so grateful to understand that it is always present for me. I'm so grateful that it shows up in multitudes of ways to prove that it is always there for me. And I'm also grateful for this center that helps me to remember that each and every day. If you are in agreement with this treatment, please say with me, and so it is.
I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease with every prayer. I breathe the heart of God, I breathe the love of God through me.
Think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grinned? You seem to sing with all the voices of the mountain. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you. And for once, never in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or let the eagle tell you where he's been? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? How high does a sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. For whether we are white or copper skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. Need to paint with all the colors of the wind. If own the earth and still all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
That's the music of Cheryl Chandler, Colors of the Wind. Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Cheryl, thank you so much. And Penelope, let's give it up for our music ministry. Wonderful, wonderful. You feeling that? Yeah. Take a breath. That's it. Let it through. Just let it through. It's good, good, good. It's a good day to be together today. I'm so excited to bring you this message today, naturally divine, that we are naturally divine. We've been looking all month at this idea that nature is all around us and nature is created out of the divinity of spirit itself. We've been looking at animals and the water and all of the elements, and today we kind of bring the focus back to ourselves. I am one of the divine being. My nature is divine. Evolution is my design. We live on this earth, this rock spinning through space, right? Amazed at the fact that we haven't flung off of it yet, right? Or that it hasn't flung us off. And maybe it's in the process of doing that. We don't know. But are we living one with it? We are on it, but are we one with it? Are we in harmony with the planet, with nature, with all living beings, including ourselves? If we truly believe that God is all that there is, then the invitation is to live in a way that reflects this truth, right? To move from just saying the words to moving into how showing up, moving into how it shows up in our lives, to making that daily and practical, sustainable commitment. And so as we explore this wonder of nature, let us turn that lens back on ourselves and look at who we are as a species. You know, humans are a fascinating species. Have you noticed? I mean, we're just filled with all kinds of mysteries and quagmires and questions. Intelligent, social, creative, capable, but also unconscious and destructive and biased and selfish, violent and destructive in so many ways. And so it brings up the question, right, of our sort of genetic makeup, what is it that determines our destiny or our nature? Do we have a choice in how we show up and how we turn out? And so we're going to explore that this week. Ernest Holmes describes it this way. He says, there is that within every individual which partakes of the nature of the universal wholeness, and insofar as it operates is God. That's the term that he used. We might say divine intelligence or spirit. You can replace that word with whatever works for you. That is the meaning of the word Emmanuel, the meaning of the word Christ. There is that within us which partakes of the nature of divine being. And since it partakes of the nature of divine being, we are divine. Right? Now, you've heard me all month long in these messages say, and I've said in other places, that if we want to understand God's nature, then look to nature. Right? Look to the place where it just naturally shows up. The intelligence reveals itself, and it doesn't argue with itself. Right? We argue with it. So we got to struggle a little bit more to understand our nature in relationship to God's nature, and that's what we're going to focus on today. But to understand God's nature, we just look at nature. And what we see is creativity. What we see is diversity. What we see is inclusion. What we see is a dynamic unfolding in which everything is connected and dependent on each other. What we see is all of these dynamics playing out, that even in chaos and in destruction, there is food and fuel for new growth and new transformation. And that evolution is constantly taking place, and that nothing is really ever lost, and that there is a framework that's unfolding even beyond our comprehension to see it in the moment, right? So what does that mean about us? This phrase, this idea of human nature, what about our nature? The fundamental disposition, the psychological characteristics, if you will, of shared humankind, including the ways we think, that we feel, we act. The term human nature is often used to denote the essence of humankind, what it means to be human. And this usage has, proven to be controversial. Right? Is there such a thing as our essence or our nature? I think there is, and I think Einstein thought that too, and that's why Einstein says this: I think the most important question facing humanity is the universe a friendly place? Right? And that this, first and foremost, is the basic question that all people must ask themselves. Is the universe a friendly place? Now, what does that have to do with understanding what our nature is? I come from a child development background. My bachelor's is in child development and family relations, and did an emphasis in adolescent development. And all the textbooks and everything got put to test when I had children. I got the degree, but I didn't really learn anything quite yet. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what I'm talking about? I'm getting the master's now. The school got my money, but the children got my skin. Right? And in a child development context, we look through this lens of nature versus nurture. Right? We say, is it the child's nature, or is it the environment in which they are nurtured? And it's kind of a false question, because what we discover in child development work is that it's really both. Right? There's the nature that the child comes with, genetic disposition, etc. But then the environment cultivates so much more, and either brings out and enhances or suppresses, right? And squashes what might be the nature, right? It's the same with all beings, right? We know that with if our friend SLCA friend here, Joe Labriola, was here, he's the executive director of PAWS. Forgot what it stands for. But anyway, Animal Rescue Organization. You can adopt pets, right? And I was looking recently on their website, and a lot of the animals that they have for adoption are pit bulls, or have that in them, right? You can see it in their facial structure and whatnot. And there's a reason those are a lot of what's at the rescue places and whatnot, because people tend to be afraid and think that there's something about the nature. But Joe would tell you if he was here, right? He'd say, no, it's the nurture. It's the way in which they're trained. It's the way in which they're an animal, so they have an aggressive and defensive and very strong nature. But the nurture in which they are raised will determine a lot about how they behave, right? How they show up and how they interact. And that's true for us as well, right? It's the nurture, the power of the force. So this question, is the universe a friendly place or not, is so important, because really our nature is a reflection of the relationship that we cultivate with the divine. Let me say that again. Our nature is a reflection of the relationship that we nurture with the divine. You see, it's the play of nurture and nature, but right, so metaphysically speaking, the expression of our spiritual nature is the reflection of our relationship with what we nurture with the divine. So if we ask the question, is this a friendly universe or not, and we say, yes, it's a friendly universe, then we nurture that relationship, and it has an influence on what we think about God, what we think about spirituality, what we think about nature around us, what we think about each other, about humanity. If we answer that question and say, no, the universe is a very unfriendly place, and it's very random and chaotic, and it's a survival of the fittest, and right, that then will nurture the relationship that we have. We'll be defensive, and we'll be looking out and learning how to protect ourselves and guard ourselves against everyone and everything around us. The question, the way in which we answer that question reflects so much about the nurture or the relationship that we cultivate with the divine. Well, we believe in New Thought and Science of Mind and this wonderful spirituality. We believe that we teach that there is within us that which partakes of the divine being, and thus that we are also divine. That there is an inherent quality in all of us, though it's not always acknowledged, felt, or consciously realized, right? And therefore, we don't always see its expression or demonstration in our lives or in life around us. That as human beings, we must consciously engage in spiritual practice to acknowledge this truth-seeking and to consciously practice it in our lives. If we want to see it, we have to be it, right? So the Spirit of God is all around us. The Spirit of the love divine, the Spirit of the essence of the universe, the intelligence is all around us, but we have to engage it. We have to cultivate that relationship with it. We have to bring it into our spiritual practice. We have to invite it in. It is that which is constantly pressing against the doorway of our consciousness, but we have to open the door and say, I see it, I feel it, or I want to see it and I want to feel it. We have to invite it, right? And then cultivate it in our practice so that it reveals itself. And if we choose not to do that, then the opposite will show up, the fear and the protection and all of the ways in which humanity shows up as well, right? So what we learn is that we are truly alchemists, right? We're alchemists in the creation of the universe, in the creation of our own world. And the question is, what is it that we want to create? What is the world? What is the life? What is the experience that we want to create? And so therefore, this New Thought orientation stands really, I don't know if you've noticed, I imagine that you have because you're here, all right? But stands as a stark contrast to the spiritual tradition that most of us inherited, right? The term New Thought came from this idea that, hey, here's a new way of looking at this. Here's a new thought, right? What if we aren't born in sin and in inequity? What if we aren't worms of the dust, unworthy and unholy from the very beginning? What if actually divinity is all that there is? What if actually it's all good all the time? What if actually there's an intelligence, that God is not a far-off being judging and punishing us, but actually it's right here within us. It's closer than our very breath. We don't have to do anything to access it except invite it in, invite our own awareness and our own consciousness to it. What if that is actually the way the universe is built? And what if all this other stuff is just a story that we made up for God knows what reason, right? But what if it's actually just distracting us from the real purpose of our being here? That's a new thought, right? Or at least it was in the 1800s, right? That's where the term came from. That's why we say New Thought movement. What's the New Thought movement? It came out of this place of, let's rethink this a little bit. Let's back up a second. Can we start over? Because this seems to have gotten off track. We got these, and it came out of this, uniquely American tradition, and the Puritans and Calvinistic theology was the theology of the day, and people like Emerson and Thoreau and Quimby were all questioning and saying, wait a second, hold the phone, right? Phone's not even invented yet, but hold it, right? Hold the telegram. What would they have said? I don't know. I don't know what the phrase would have been. Hold the pigeon. I don't know. Right? But hold it for a second. Let's rethink this for a second. Maybe we got this all backwards. as Thoreau and Emerson were walking through nature, as they were communing with the trees, as they were, how many people studied the tales of Johnny Appleseed in school, right? Remember Johnny Appleseed was a New Thought guy. Did you know that? He was a New Thought guy. He was in fact, early New Thought before Holmes and the Unity movement. There was, and there still is out there a little bit, the work of Emanuel Swedenborg. That's going way back in the New Thought time machine, way back to the 1600s in Sweden. This guy was a scientist, he was a creator, he was a physicist, he was all kinds of amazing things. And in his retirement, he started doing this spiritual practice and having these incredible mystical dreams, and he started writing about his dreams. His name's Emanuel Swedenborg, and a whole religion. He came through this whole critique of Christianity and wrote about it under a different name, under a pseudonym, because if he'd written about it in his own name, he would have been beheaded. Right? It's a wonderful book from the 1600s called True Christianity. And in it, he goes like line for line through doctrine and says, this is where we got it wrong. You know, this is where it's messed up. And it's amazing. And it's amazing that you can now get it printed in his name. But when he originally published it, he would publish it in different languages. And there are different names so that it wouldn't come back to him. So this guy, Emanuel Swedenborg, eventually, what came out of that was this whole movement called the Swedenborg Church in the New Jerusalem. And Johnny Appleseed was a follower of that practice. And so when he was going around throughout New England, planting apple orchards and doing what he was doing, he was actually distributing Emanuel Swedenborg literature. And he was actually helping build Swedenborg churches. And by the way, the apple trees he was planting, there's a side note, complete side note, but it's just a fun little thing to note. We're not like, Granny Smith's, and, he wasn't trying to, help people make apple pie. They were the sour apples that you made cider from. But anyway, he was helping them do a whole nother thing, That's all true. Look it up. Emanuel Swedenborg, that whole thing. But as they were walking through nature, they were saying, maybe we got this all wrong. Maybe the orientation is backwards. Maybe we're not sinners from the dust and all of these things, as Matthew Fox teaches in his book, Original Blessings, right? That even the concept of original sin is not original to the founding of Christianity, right? Hold on to this for a second. Grab this. Original sin doesn't show up in Christianity until the 4th century. It's not even there in the beginning. In other words, original sin, Matthew Fox goes into a great deal about it in his former Catholic priests who also had new thoughts and got in a lot of trouble. They excommunicated him. They said he wrote a book, and they were like, maybe you need to take some time off. And so he took some time off, and then he wrote a bunch of other books. And when they said, how did you do on your time off? He said, real good, look. Right? That was a long time ago. And so in his book, Original Blessing, he talks about this idea. Original sin is not even there in the beginning of Christianity. Original sin is a concept that Jesus would have never even heard of. How about that? Right? There wasn't even a term used until the 4th century. And he says, so it's strange, he says, to run a church and a whole a theology, in essence, supposedly on behalf of Jesus, when Jesus would have never even heard the term or been familiar with the concept. And so we're here today in a New Thought context to offer a fresh view for humanity, one that is in tune with the infinite, one that is in tune with nature, one that is in tune with indigenous practices and ancient cultures and the ancient wisdom that is around us, that is coming up from the earth. It's always inviting itself into our being. All we have to do is take a breath. All we have to do is look at the trees. All we have to do is hear the birds, right? It's there, which says that we are born divine, that we are a spark of the infinite creativity of the universe itself, that we are the essence of the universe itself, that the makeup of our body, the carbon and the molecules all come from the Big Bang, from the stardust, from the infinite expanse of the universe, and we're just the universe looking back on itself. We're just stardust looking at each other and saying, there you are again. I recognize you, right? You come from the infinite. You ever had that experience? You look at somebody and say, I just know this person. I know their spirit. I know their essence. Of course you do. You both bursted out of the same star. You came from the same place. And now you're formed and coagulated into this manifestation, and they're coagulated into that manifestation, but you're from the same place, right? And so we bring a spirituality and a practice of awareness that says, this is who we really are. Everything else is just the manifestations of remembering and forgetting, and the cycle of remembering and forgetting. We forget, and then we remember again. We forget, and then we remember again. But there's no original sin. There's no shaped in inequity. There's just pure God stuff, right? That is wanting to be released through our own becoming, through our own growing. And yes, we'll forget along the way. But that's why we're here, even here today. We're here to remember, right? You could just touch yourself and say, I'm here to remember. I'm here to remember. Just tell your neighbor, I'm here to remember. I'm here to remember who I am. I'm here to remember who I've always been. I'm here to remember my divinity. See, even when we touch ourselves, when we feel our own skin, it becomes a way in which the universe is reminding us, every time you feel yourself, it's the way the universe is reminding you that before there was trauma, there was blessing. Come on, somebody. Before there was trauma, before there was anything, anybody told you were inadequate, before anybody did anything harmful to you, before you lost your way and forgot who you were, before before the one got away or the job got away or the whatever happened to you, before there was any kind of trauma, your skin, every time you touch yourself, it's a reminder that in the beginning there was blessing, that you were born of a miracle, that you were born of a divine process, that if you look in the child development process and just understand what it takes to get here in physical form, you would remember that you were a blessing, that you're a miracle. And that was present before anything else. And so every time we touch ourselves, it's a reminder of that, to be awakened to that something greater is always trying to break through. We're here to remember and to be awakened that something greater is always trying to break through as you. And that everything that stands in the way is actually curriculum in which we facilitate ourselves to our reminding. That's all it is. It's just curriculum. It's like, oh, but this is going on, and this is terrible, and oh, that's going on, and that's going on with the environment, and it's flooding over here, and it's terrible droughts over there, and the crops are drying up over here, and we can't even, keep living conditions over here. Oh, those are all just conditions that are invitations that are the universe saying, remember who you are. You've got capacity to understand and handle these issues. These things are just manifestations of how you've been behaving. They're manifestations of your forgetting. They're manifestations of your ignorance of the divinity of who you are and who each other are. You've done this to yourself. You ever wake up and go, ooh, I did that to myself. That wasn't anybody's fault but mine. Right? I used to blame this person and that person, but now I see that, whoo, that was just me. Thinking some kind of thought that doesn't serve me no good anymore, right? But now I can see it. Now I can see the blessing in it. Now I can see the ways in which it's serving me because it woke me up. If it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't be aware of who I am today, right? And so therefore, as we recast this vision of who we are as a human species, we can look at the divine stories. We see the story of Atman, of the Buddha, awakening to his divinity, leaving the lush palace of his privilege so that he could wake up to the divinity and how he was connected to everything around us. We can see the incarnation of Jesus, that story is just a reminder of what's possible. Right? It's not some magical fantasy about an exception. It's actually, in the beginning, God takes the dust and breathes life into it, the pneuma, the breath of life. What is that story reminding us of? Not that we're worms of the dust unworthy, but that we're actually the carbon molecules of the universe itself, right? And then the story goes on and says, oh, but humanity forgot, and humanity forgot, and humanity forgot. And so God says, okay, let me try this again. Let me put some angels around it and some star, and let me do some things so that you really don't miss this, right? Because you seem to have missed it, right? I told you once, but you kept missing it, so let me try it again. And we get all these things that we call the birth narrative in the Gospels. And I usually go over all this stuff in December and break it all down. But it's all there to remind. It's just God reminding us. It's the universe reminding us in these ancient stories that people told to each other, say, remember who you are. Remember there's divinity behind this. And the incarnation is the deepest reminder that says, remember, this incarnation is divine. And this individual comes along. We call this master teacher. And he doesn't say, hey, everybody come with me. We're going to get on this train and get the heck out of here. Right? That's a narrative that gets created a whole lot longer after he's gone. He actually says, treat each other with respect, with love, with kindness. Expand the circle of inclusion. Let others into the table. Stop doing all this foolishness of separation and inequity and hierarchy with the church and all of the injustice in all these ways. Stop doing all that stuff. Remember who you are. Remember the blessing. Remember the sacredness. Matthew Fox says in Original Blessing, he says, the doctrine of the incarnation itself is an invitation for all believers to love the earth, to cherish it, and to find divinity in it. Because God chooses in the story to put divinity in humanity, in the earth, right? So the story is that Jesus is one who communes with nature, who communes with its laws, who brings forward more love, more compassion, more justice in this world, not some far-off fantasy place, but in this world. And so our task is to be here, not to escape, but to be here. To transform heaven on earth. And as such, to commune with nature is a revolutionary act. To commune with the divine, and right? My parents' generation had it right all along. Some of you are here, right? The hippies got it right, hugging the trees. They got it right. They had it all along, right? And they got it from the natives, and they got it from the ancient ancestries, and they got it from, right? It was right all along. To commune with nature, it's a revolutionary act. Because if you commune with nature, then you say, why are you here? What is it here to teach me? How do we work together? What gifts do you bring forward? There's a book on the blog this month. I got various books and resources there for you around nature. And one of them is called The Natural History of Our Future. And in that, the author says this. He says, when we try to control nature, we often come to imagine ourselves as being outside of nature. We speak of ourselves as if we were no longer animals, as if we were a species alone, disconnected from the rest of life, subject to different, perhaps exceptional rules. This is a mistake. We are both part of and intimately dependent on nature. And the laws of dependency states that all species depend on other species. And we as humans are probably dependent on more species than any other species that exists. And yet our behavior seems to demonstrate the opposite understanding. What are we to do? And so the whole book, that's in the introduction, the whole book is about how we can cooperate with the laws of nature. The laws of nature that say divinity is inherently expressed in diversity. That the more diverse a space is, the more healthier it is. Then we have fields of crops, for example, and we end up just putting one thing in, we end up bleaching out the soil and eroding, creating more erosion, more floods, more problems for the earth. But if we allow spaces to be diverse in their crops, then the crops that we're trying to harvest are actually healthier and stronger over periods of time. Right? The diversity is a natural part of what we're trying to do. And so we've talked a lot about human nature. And New Thought kind of puts this redemptive and reclamation energy on these old, tired stories, these old religious stories of sin and unworthiness. And maybe it occurred to me as I was thinking about this week, is that maybe those stories aren't about how to break free from the struggles that they describe. Maybe those stories are actually designed to keep us in the struggle while someone else profits off of it. Right? My friend Rob Bell, evangelical guy who had some new thoughts and got in trouble too. If you don't notice, I hang out with all the people who get in trouble. I hang out with the troublemakers because they have new thoughts, right? But Rob Bell says, what would the Bible be? He said, if we took, I love this, he says, if we took sin out of the Bible, what would we have? And he says, a pamphlet. But he says it would be a very important pamphlet because it would have the beginning and it would have the end. And he goes into this whole metaphor. He says, now a story is really important. That where a story begins and where a story ends is really critical contextually to understanding everything that happens in the middle. Right? If you walk into a movie 15 minutes late and you leave 15 minutes early, do you really understand the story? Right? You understand a lot of the drama that happens in the middle. And you can say, this character fighting with that character, and this thing happened, and then he said, and she said, and did it. But you really won't get the framework. You won't really understand how it ends or how it began. And he says, if we look contextually and we start in the beginning, there is no sin. There's just God, divine, and creation happening, and we're created out of that place. And there is that, my word's not his, but original blessing, right? And it starts where? In a garden. It starts in nature. It starts in this place in which we're one with all things. We understand that we're one with all things, and things don't really begin to shift until that very powerful line that says that they were naked, they were hiding from God was moving through the forest looking for the first beings, Adam and Eve, and saying, where are you? And they said, we're over here, but we're naked. And he says, well, who told you were naked? Right? Who told you? You're one with everything. Where'd this idea come from? Right? That you're separate, that you're naked, that you're, what is that? And then the story, and so from there we begin to drift into that forgetting phase. And all the things that happen, the murder with Cain and Abel, and the flood, and God trying to start over and say, oh yeah, it's all a story of remembering, forgetting, until it ends. And where does it end? New Jerusalem, holy city, a city that is open to all, that the gates are, it says the gates are open wide, the streets are paved with gold, everyone's included. It's this beautiful, inclusive place. And if we look from a high enough place, what is a city but an orchestrated set of gardens and landscaped spaces for humanity to move around in? It begins and it ends in a garden, in a beautiful place. And everything in between is about the cycle of remembering and forgetting. Sin has nothing to do with it. It's remembering that we're born in divinity and that we are here to create a heaven on earth. And everything in between is the drama of remembering and forgetting. And they even, in case we were missing the plot, and humanity has missed the plot on this, right? And it was like the authors are saying, in case you missed the plot, we're going to put in this really, powerful remembering. What does Mary see? Now, none of this is in my notes. What does Mary see when Jesus comes out of the tomb and is walking through? Mary's the first one. What does she see? A gardener. Like the authors are going, they're not going to miss this. You better not miss this. It begins in a garden. It ends in a garden. And when Jesus reveals himself beyond the trauma of the everyday world, he is perceived to be the gardener. God's saying, don't miss this. It is all about creating the garden. It's all about understanding your natural divinity. It's all about communing with nature and with each other and treating each other out of that space of diversity, inclusion, love, and compassion, creating it here, creating it now, doing it together. Don't miss it. And we missed it. But we're here to figure it out together, yes? Yes. You see, I'm invested in your liberation. I'm invested in your transformation. I want Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta to be filled with people who are invested in their liberation. I want some holy investors in this place, right? I want you to invest in SLCA, don't get me wrong, but I want you to be primarily invested in yourself, invested in your liberation, in your transformation, right? So we've been talking about this idea of framing story. We reframe the story. It begins in a garden, it ends in a garden. It's all about creating the garden together. Emerson, I didn't put the Emerson quote up there. Emerson says this. He says, Though the wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him, but through his toil bestowed upon that plot of ground which is given to him to till. I'll gender neutralize it for you and say it again, since I don't have it on the screen for you. Though the wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to anyone but through their toil bestowed upon that plot of ground which is given to them to till. We are born in divinity. We are immersed in divinity. And the good that comes to us and through us and shared with each other through humanity is through the effort that we make to till the ground, to toil the soil, and to plant the seeds of love and justice and compassion, to plant the seeds for a better world. This quote isn't about just do your own work and forget about everybody else and just focus on your stuff. It's just one way you could misread the text. But I believe it's about, because tilling the soil, again, is about the diversity of the land. There's an old story that talks about a farmer who wins the blue ribbon first prize for his corn every year in the state farm. And year after year for decades he's won. And so they do this report on him because he's getting ready to retire. And they're like, this guy is, every year he wins the award for the best sweet corn, right? So they're going to talk to him. We're going to ask him, what's your secret? What do you do? The farmer smiles and he says, well, every year when after I win the award and the crop goes to seed, he says, I give some of the seed to my neighbors to the north and some to my farmer neighbors to the south and some to the east and some to the west. And the reporter's shocked. He says, what do you mean you give away your award-winning champion, corn seed? Why would you do that if you wanted to win every year? And the farmer says, because the wind has no favorites. If I have good seed and my neighbor has good seed, then we all win. But if I only have good seed and they have bad seed, then the wind and the birds and the crows and everything will bring that to mine, and it will degrade the quality of my seed. But if everybody has good seed, so if we take this Emerson idea and say, no kernel of nourishing good can come to us, but except that by which we toil, then it's not just about us, it's about what we're doing for everyone and everything around us, you see. Because that's the law of nature itself. And so we are to till the spaces of our mind and our consciousness and our heart and our being, to invest in ourselves so that we might be that place in which transformation takes place for everyone. And I don't know about you, but I can feel it happening. There's something, Spirit's quickening in this place. Spirit's quickening in Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Oh, I got some things I can't even tell you about yet because they're secrets. Because we're working on it, but we're transforming the whole platform of how we deliver education. You don't even have to be in the room, but you're going to get the same quality and same delivery because we got people who are watching online from all over the country, and we're going to make sure we're delivering quality education and investment in themselves. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm just telling you right now. Let me bring this to a close because I'm so excited right now. Take a breath. I am of divine being. The divine being. My nature is divine and evolution is my design. I am of the divine being. My nature is divine and evolution is my design. Let's take a breath again and say it together. I am of the divine being. My nature is divine and evolution is my design. And so it is. So we let it be. Ashe, amen. Aha, aho. Peace and blessings.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. all my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You are close like no other. I've known you as beloved. I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Hey, 'cause all my life you have been faithful. Yes, you have. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yeah. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything, oh Lord. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. And all my life you have been faithful. Yes, you have. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I'm gonna sing. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
Cheryl Chandler. The beautiful music of C.C. Winans. So it is. Thank you, Cheryl. I heard you singing at home. I heard that. heard this room getting lit up. Welcome back.
Woo! I don't know about y'all, but that was fantastic. Penelope, Cheryl, thank you. I have been so moved by the music selections today. Rev, you showed up once again, let me tell you. Thank you for reminding me that I'm a miracle. That's going to carry me through this week. And I'm sure so many of you receive all kinds of other messages through today. So, whew. It is time to acknowledge our first-time visitors. If this is your first time to SLCA, we invite you to stand so we may welcome you. Our ushers are handing you a gift. Please join a welcome ambassador for fellowship in the lobby following service. Thank you for choosing the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta as part of your celebration today. As we enter our time of grateful giving, we want to thank each that faithfully give to SLCA. It is because of your contributions that we continue to spread our messages of oneness. If you were inspired by this message today, please consider becoming a recurring pledger or give what is on your heart today. You can conveniently text your gift to 404-800-9467. You may also give with a credit card on our website or by using our digital program with the QR code displayed on the screen. If you wish to give by cash or check, our ushers will be coming through the aisle shortly to receive your contributions. As you hold your pledge card or gift to your heart, please join me in saying our grateful giving affirmation. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Connect, grow, serve and give, living life where you belong. Connect, grow, serve and give, loving everyone. You belong, you belong, you belong, you belong.
Hello, I am Jamel Morris. My pronouns are he and him, and I serve on the creative arts team at SLCA. Wow, this has been a great service. This is like, I'm grateful to be here, but I'm still feeling it. Sure, that goodness of God is still flowing right now, so thank you. I'm excited to tell you about the opportunities to connect, grow, serve, and give, as we just did, at our center. For more information about today's announcements, please take a moment to scan the QR codes found either on the back of the seat in front of you or the displays on your monitor. You may also visit our information wall in the lobby after service. We would like to thank all of our loyal pledgers and each of you that faithfully give to SLCA. Thank you. Remember, as always, to check our weekly email newsletter on Monday for all the ways to connect with SLCA during the week. If you are not currently receiving the newsletter and would like to, please speak with one of us following service. Connect with nature, as we spoke of earlier, with John, as you join, Chris Adams and Monica Girlington on the second Saturday of each month for a hike. Explore trails in the Atlanta area as we fellowship with our community. For more information, speak with Chris and Monique after service. You must register on Breeze for time and location, and that hike will be September 10th. And Chris, Adams, and Monique, can you please stand up or raise your hand so they'll know who you are? Please reach out to them and join them on September the 10th. Next, prepare now to join SLCA on September 4th at 1 p.m. after service for an afternoon of jazz, soul, and funk, and R&B, blues. Do not miss your chance to experience stellar music in a beautiful setting. Enjoy the positive atmosphere and cool vibes of Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Be prepared to be blown away with an amazing lineup of jazz professionals coming together for this incredible special concert offered courtesy of SLCA and Gratitude Jazz. Everybody, please show up. It's going to be a great time. We are also excited, just like Reverend Dr. Alexander shared, about bringing you the Love Offering Workshop on September 18th, right after service. This workshop, entitled New Thought is Evolving, You Should Too, will be presented by Reverend Dr. David Alexander, and will challenge you to explore a new framework for understanding our own place in the journey from personal wellness to social injustice and a world that works for all of us. He needs you here. He already gave the challenge. Let's show up and show out. Also, sign up today and attend either in person or on Zoom. Next, are you ready to take a deeper dive? Sign up now with Reverend Dr. David Alexander's newly revamped class, You Belong. We all belong. This 8-week course is being offered both in person and on Zoom. The class is based on the book You Belong, A Call for Connection by Sebene, if I said that right, Selassie. Register now to reserve your space. Everyone needs to be there, whether you're in person or on Zoom, but they're going to make a way for you to see this and hear this. On October 8th, our church mother, Madeline Hammond's family, will have a celebration of life service that our community is invited to. If you plan to attend, please register on Breeze no later than this Tuesday so the family can prepare accordingly. And we definitely miss our dear Maddie, so please show up if you can. We miss her hugs and our love yous. Will our practitioners please make yourself known both in person and in the online chat at this time to be recognized. As you see, our practitioners. We welcome each of you in need of prayer to remain in the room or reach out to a practitioner online for one-on-one prayer with a licensed practitioner. In-person practitioners will be available on both sides of the room following service. We all need prayer. Prayer is a great thing. It changes things. Thank you for joining us this morning. May your week be filled with love, peace, and happiness. You belong. Thank you.
Yes. Will you join me and we sing our closing song? Stand if it feels comfortable to do so, and we just wish you a great weekend. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. I see our hospitality queen is getting it on. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. Yes, we do. We see a world that works for everyone, and that means you. We see a world that works for everyone. Everyone, everyone. Have a great weekend and stop by the hospitality table. She's got some good treats up there. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining us at home.